and welcome to our visual communications class. And hello again to those of you who were just on our wake up warm-ups. My name is Sue Melvin. I'm the regional management team coordinator. Also, I'm joined by Joan Borden, our directors coordinator. Wave your hand, Joan. So and Suzanne McKinley from her balcony in Florida, our education coordinator, who we have to thank very much for planning this class today. So thank you, Sue. So I'm kind of covering a little for her today while her internet is a little sketchy on the balcony. Don't we all feel terribly sorry for her? Just a couple quick housekeeping items for today, if you don't mind. We are recording this class today so that we can share it with those who were not as fortunate as us to be here. You will be muted for most of the class, but there'll be times where you can unmute at the direction of Diane or somebody else on the call. So just try to remember to keep yourself muted so we can all have an enjoyable experience. Please use the chat for your questions, and we will have somebody monitoring the chat. You're in for a fun time, and I can't wait. I have the pleasure of introducing this lovely lady. I tried to condense this. Suzanne helped me with her very long credentials. So I hope you have about a half an hour. No, it's very, she's very talented. So Diane is a certified judge in Sweet Adelines and international faculty. And she's been a member of Sweet Adelines since 1975. So you know that she was only 10 at the time. So she has directed Sweet Adeline choruses in regions 3, 6, 16, and 17, as well as in the Barbershop Harmony Society. Diane is the master director of Region 17's current championship chorus, Buffalo Gateway, which Suzanne and I are very happy to say that we're relatively neighbors. Suzanne is literally right around the corner from Diane, and I'm about an hour away. So we're very proud of Buffalo Gateway. Diane has given her time and talent generously for many years in the musical leadership of Sweet Adelines and has earned many regional championship and wildcard placements. And she has received Region 16's Leadership Excellence and Coaching Achievement Awards, has served on the Region 16 Regional Management Team, and is currently the Director's Coordinator on the Great Lakes Harmony Region 17 Regional Management Team. She has achieved many honors in Sweet Adelines. In addition to her judging and faculty duties, she served as moderator of the International Faculty Coordinators, chair of the International Educational Symposium, and chair of the Side by Side Seminar in Detroit, and 4 years as secretary of the International Board of Directors and on the Education Direction Committee. So she is a sought-after coach throughout the world, has worked with coaches, with choruses and quartets in all three barbershop organizations. And she's a familiar face as anchor webcaster for Sweet Adeline's chorus semifinals and finals. My personal favorite webcaster. So welcome, and we are so glad that you're sharing your time and talent with us today. Diane Porsch.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. The biggest thing, here's how you get credentials. You just don't say no to anything for 46 years, and eventually you're on every committee doing something. So hang out for 46 years and you'll have the same long list. Well, thank you. It made me tired listening to it, actually. I can't believe it. Well, here we are, and here I am with my most favorite friends in the world, my Region 16 buddies, and we are at a place in the organization now where the U.S. choruses are starting to get together. New Zealand has been together when they were the envy of the world for everybody, and I think you guys are getting real close. I mean, it's all about the vaccines, really. It's the more of them that we get out there, the better. And I didn't think any of us would be singing down here till fall. So you see, just have faith, hang in there, because it is going to fix itself. And I can only tell you, to hear that not muted, not singing at home with your animals and husbands and, partners and everything else. Just to hear that live. I'm so forgiving of things. Well, I was for the first week, and now we're back to normal again. So we had our installation the first week, and we did that at the hall, and we sang a little bit. You can tell that stamina is the thing that probably is most impacted by all of this COVID stuff. And we're just standing in the gym now, but 2 hours is about enough. I mean, it really is. And everyone's looking at each other like, oh my God. So we'll build back up. Our rehearsals are just 2 hours now. And that includes all announcements. It includes everything. So I think that's going to take a bit of the summer to get that all back. But hang in there. It's coming for you sooner than later. So here we are today, and I'm excited. I've been a showmanship judge since 1987, somewhere in there, 87, 88, somewhere in there. I got into the program in 86, 85 or 86, and took me about 4 years of trial scoring and things before I was on a panel. So it's probably pushing closer to 89 or 1990. I don't remember. This is another thing about being around long enough, you just don't remember all this stuff. But we are at a place now where we're examining our categories. We're really looking at them. How many updates do we need? What do we need? And as someone who's written showmanship score sheets, you'll hear me screw up. I keep calling it showmanship, or I call it virtual communications. I got on a judging training thing a month ago, and you know how you have to change your name. I changed my name to Diane Porsch, virtual communications judge. So you know that I need some training. So we're visual communication now. There's a big reason for that. It's because that's what we do in this category. And showmanship is a part of it, but visual communication, connecting with the audience. So we're going to go through the changes in that category, what it looks like. I'm excited about it. I think that what I can gather from this is when we went into open division scoring and you look at how we evaluate open division performances, all of a sudden there's musicality and how do we connect with the audience rapport. All of those separate little items for open division are there, and all the judges evaluate those as opposed to a 2-song set. And I think I was not on the task force that put all of these updates together, but what I'm seeing is that the open division evaluation that the judges do for that type of performance has influenced these changes. So we've updated things quite a bit. And so what I want to do now, Sue, I'm okay to share, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. I'm going to show you the showmanship score sheet and the new visual communication score sheet. So just give me a second here. Oh, why am I not seeing it? I just opened it. Well, let's give it a try, see what happens. Okay, do you see that? You see the screen? Okay, good. Now, too big? Too big. I just want to bring it down here to about that. Is that okay? Up higher. Thank you, Martha. How about that? Okay. All right. So the score sheet on the left, that showmanship score sheet should look very familiar to anybody who's been in the organization for any length of time, especially to directors, because we certainly see this in our packet after we finished performing at a contest. So on the left here, you can see my cursor moving around. Yes, good. On the left, this is all very familiar. Performance, 0 to 70 points. So 70% of our category was all of these things on the left, and 30% was in preparation. And a lot of emphasis on costume and makeup and grooming and choreography, creativity, entrance, break, and exit. How did we plan these things? Now, judging this category, I've always looked at this and said, how could anybody not get this right? because it's the preparation part. You certainly could put yourself together and look decent. You should have a costume that fits and perhaps a color that works decently on stage. Entrance break and ask, what do we do when the curtain comes up or when the lights come up and when you know, what do we do in between songs? And creativity, gosh, is this something a little more refreshing and exciting for the audience? Did we plan something that would be a little unique to us? And then on the left-hand side, vocal skills listed number 1. And that is on every score sheet. Number 1, vocal skills. Energy, well, we need some of that too. Poise and command, how do we handle ourselves on stage? Are we confident? Blah, 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 blah. Entrance, break, and exit is here again, but now it's under performing. How do we perform the plan that we had? Characterization, that's a big word now. Physical expression, is there some? How do we do that? Choreography, over here means how did we perform the plan that we had over here? Sometimes we'd see a comment that said choreography, solid plan, and then over here it would say something like your solid planning, however, interfered at times with your vocal product. So that it was the performance of the plan. And did it help, or how did it impact what you were doing? Unity, I think that's a given. Every category has that word in it. Or do we do things together or separately? Audience rapport. Well, we know how important that is. Pitch pipe technique. Pitch pipe technique. Was there a good timing on it? Did we get a good start? All of that sort of thing. And posture. Now, those are the elements we've been looking at for years. But if we go over to the score sheet on the right, this is the new score sheet. And if I'm a quartet, I'm really excited because instead of being dumped down here in the lower left-hand corner, we now have a place to make comments up here. So I just think that's great. It's not like an afterthought. There you are. But look at the difference. Over here, vocal skills, still number 1 on the sheet. Can't emphasize it enough. Energy, poise and command, we'll talk about that in a little bit, is not listed here. I'll talk about the stuff in the yellow in a minute. Entrance, break, and exit, not listed here, but it is a part of these things. Physical expression, same. Choreography is a part of something else down here. Unity, yep, still there. Audience rapport, this is now called audience connection. Now, if you really think about it, the audience connection piece, doesn't that language make a little more sense? Because that is what we do, is try to connect with the audience. So it isn't just a rapport thing, it's bigger than that. And then we have pitch pipe technique, which is all part of some of this in here. We'll go over that really carefully. Posture is now called body alignment. And that makes sense from a professional voice teacher standpoint, because there are not too many people teaching voice right now that are talking just about posture. It's about alignment, because if the body's in a proper alignment, your posture will be good. But the alignment is what makes that happen, and that allows us to sing better. So this language is updated, a lot of this, to what our professional teachers are referring to right now. So that is what that looks like. Do you have any questions about the cross-reference here?
A couple people were just, they may be on tablets. We're wondering if you could expand your screen just a little bit, make it a little larger.
Does that help?
It does on my end.
Okay.
I'm seeing heads nodding, so thank you, Di.
Heads are nodding. Very good. All right. So everything that's highlighted here is really what we're going to talk about. I think the one thing that's most important of anything we're looking at right now is if you take a look at performance 0 to 70 points, preparation 0 to 30, here's what it is now. 0 to 100 points. The category is a 100-point category. And several years ago, the expression category moved to this as well. So we did not have category weights that were so specific to 70% performance, for instance, 30% preparation. This is 0 to 100 points. So everything's included here now rather than breaking it out. Like if you came out and looked like $1 million, there's an automatic 30 points. Everything was put together. Creativity's obvious. All of that stuff, that was automatic 30 points, and now we have to perform it. That's not how it is now. It's 100 points. Everything's worth it, things equally. Now, I'm going to go over to another page here. Do you see this one? Yeah. Yes? Nod? Yes? Good. Thank you. Because sometimes I hit the stop share button and I didn't that time. So I'm very happy about that. Here's what we're talking about. And this is, all I'm saying is here's where things were moved. So let's look at the old category on the left and the new one. All of these arrows. Poise and command is now known as stage presence. And that was moved over to the new sheet as stage presence. What is poise and command anyway? Let's say somebody drops a pitch pipe in a quartet contest or something like that. How do you handle that? How is it handled? If there's some sort of an error or a mistake on the stage, for instance, how do we handle that? By going on. I have to tell you though, when I first joined Sweet Adelines, this is scary because I don't think they meant it, but I started directing a small chorus in Neenah, Wisconsin. We were small at the time, and when I came in, Lyle Pilcher and Jarmella Speda, all these people were the icons, and everybody was just like in awe of these people. They'd walk down the hall and we would just freeze. So anything that these people in this little chorus heard, all the rumors were true to them. And one of the rumors was, if somebody passes out while you're performing, and they just fall in the stage or what, just let them down. We'll pick them up later, but keep singing. I mean, I don't know, some of you, Martha's nodding because I could see a few of you there, but it's like, just keep singing. The performance must go on. And that is so not true. And so how would we handle that situation? You would help that person, you'd stop singing. We would let you come back and sing at the end if that's what you chose to do. I mean, but how we handle those types of situations, and also, do we have command of the stage? Are we confident, well prepared? That stuff shows, and we don't score a walk-on. The audience might be scoring you when you walk on, but the judge panel is not. For the most part, I'm finishing up my score sheets from the other contestant. All of us are, so we're not worried about how you walk on. And think about how many choruses spend a lot of energy and time getting their little screensaver going there in the beginning, and then everybody comes in a certain way. And I mean, it's nice that it's a unit, but we're not scoring you. The audience is probably evaluating you though, and how you walk on might give you more confidence. So that's the reason that we plan those things, but not because of a score. Unless it helps you to score better because you were more confident in how you walked on. Do you see what I'm saying? But the walk-on itself is not evaluated, but if it helps you feel better, that's great. So that poise and command thing now is a stage. What presence do we have on stage at all times? Then we go to audience rapport. We talked about that, is now called audience connection. I did not send this as a handout. You will find that if you go onto the international website, and I think Sue probably has that link. I can also put it in the chat before we leave today. All of this is explained, and all of that is in there as well. But if you'd like me to send it, I can. I stole it right off of the screen from when they presented this to the judges, just so you could see where everything goes. Posture, there it goes, is now body alignment. So regardless of what you want to call it, we need to be in an upright, good singing position. Entrance, break, exit, choreography, and pitch pipe technique, all of these red things that were broken out in 70% performance, 30% planning, all of it is under a new term called stagecraft. Stagecraft. So when we see that term on the score sheet, all of these things are a part of that. And that's an important thing to know. And as we can see, creativity, Just cross-reference creativity, yes. Are we creative? Do we, I guess what I say is, if we're singing about the moon and the stars, are you putting your hand up and pointing there? I think there's a part where we do things that can perhaps assume that the audience is not so bright. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think you have to point at the moon and the stars. That would not be creative. But if you could bring the moon and the stars into your performance, that would be creative. Don't ask me how to do it, but there you go. So these are the differences. I think the biggest deal, though, all of these things, this is my opinion now, but entrance, break, exit, the planning of it, how do we do it, perform it? Did we make it a package? Was it smooth and tight? Choreography, did it help us sing better? Did we do it together? Pitch pipe technique, did we blow a pipe? Did we get a good start? Did we take a good pitch? These things are kind of under stagecraft in one item. I think it's great that we did this, because what happens is most of this stuff would be assumed, I think, for people who want to do a professional performance. A costume should fit and look great on everyone. That you should not have sequins to the point that they're at your hemline and not up but near your face. Because, why would that be? Because unless you can get your head down there below your knees, I would not spend that kind of money on decoration at your hemline. The whole thing about this category and about costuming is it should point up your face. Nothing's changed about that. So when you're looking at your costumes, make sure you're pointing up your face. And then if the makeup and grooming is on your face and done appropriately, we will see your face and we will see your emotions. That's the whole purpose of it. We've gone through a little bit of some people complaining about Sweet Adelines and all this stupid makeup stuff. Well, do you know why we wear makeup? We wear makeup because we're under bright stage lighting and we need to see expressions. You will not go to Broadway and see people defy makeup. I'm not wearing makeup. I'm a Broadway performer, but I'm not wearing makeup. That's stupid. Well, okay, and let's see how many tickets you sell. So we do this because of our bright lighting, because we use professional lighting. And then we hope that the people that have the makeup on are selling the song appropriately. That's the whole idea of it. So I'm going to defend the fact that we use makeup under bright lights, because that's why we do it. Now, I'm going to get rid of this one. Does anybody have any questions? This is just kind of a diagram of where all this stuff was and where it went. We're good? We're good. Oh, you guys muting. Oh my God, it's so weird. I still haven't gotten used to it. I much prefer to teach in a live environment, but here we go. All right. Now I want to get you back. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. There we go. So no questions on that. That's what happened. We have refreshed the score sheet. What I want to say to you is this. If you really want the in-depth of this completely, the video done by the task force that redid this absolutely helps a lot. They explain everything very thoroughly. But I just want to go through a few things that are new on the new score sheet. Like the showmanship judges now, visual communication, have been given a new item called musicality. I'm going to go back here for a second. And I have to change my share, don't I? I didn't do that. There we go. Musicality. Here's one of, I better make this bigger for you too. Hold on. All right. Musicality. There it is. That item was not on this score sheet at all. And I'm just going to read how they worded it in the new category. Authentic visual communication is an integral part of the musical performance. Musicality is achieved when the intent of the music is brought to life by the performance choices and the musical delivery. So the essence of true musicality is the performer's ability to use emotional experiences and genuine theatrical abilities to perform in a way that pulls the audience into a magical experience. Now that's written right in the new category description book, which is available online. So I would highly recommend that we make sure that we are looking at that as we get ready for this. Now, who in your region would you imagine has been teaching this way for many years? Who's been ahead of the ball game for many, many years? And she's still a young person. That's amazing. I hate her. So if Erin is here, I want to compliment her on that, because this is something, this audience connection, all of these things that have been reworked and put in this category, that stuff has been happening in Region 16 for a long time. So anybody who is coached by Erin, you're getting this. This is not new. But the language that describes what she does as a coach is finally in this category. It's there. So as a visual communication judge, here's what I love, is I get to evaluate musicality now. I don't have to sit and say, well, someone in expression or the showman or the sound judge is taking care of that. I get to talk about it now, and I think this all came as a result of the open division, because musicality is one of the elements there, and all of us judged it there. So musicality, all of a sudden, you're going to see language on the visual communication score sheet that you would not have seen on the showmanship score sheet, because we will be addressing the fact that you're musical or not, and if your visual planning helped you to be musical. Not just get in the way of what you're doing, but very musical. Then another one is stage presence. Stage presence, it refers to the charisma, style, sizzling energy, and a personality of a performer. So this occurs when a performer appears extremely comfortable performing on stage. So when a group comes out and you are absolutely nervous, has anybody ever felt nervous on stage? Wow. Oh my God, I go through it every year. And before we go on stage, I'm pacing in the room and I just feel like I want to throw up. Now, this is 46 years of this garbage. And I keep saying to myself, why am I putting myself through this? But I don't know that it's nervous. I feel it's an anxiety. It's an anxiousness. I want to just go do it. And yet you sit there and you go, hope it goes all right. I hope it's the way I imagine it. But we all get a little nervous. The deal is, we want to be able to use that energy in a way that impacts the performance positively instead of negatively. So the more prepared we are, the more experience we have, the better that is. Audience connection used to be rapport, and we all know what that is. But here's something that's very emphasized in all the language in the new category. For true audience connection to take place, the performers must exhibit natural, believable, organic sincerity on stage with their voices, faces, and bodies. So that language isn't quite as well described in the old category. Natural, believable. So when we tell people, down the tiles, kick dirt, stick this thing on your face, that might be a bit much. So we're talking about natural, believable. We try to do this and we coax people to do it, but some folks come off fake. You know, you can do too much of it too. It's got to be believable. And then under creativity, which was there before, but the description of it now is creativity is the act of turning original and imaginative ideas into reality, and or the ability to take existing knowledge and put it into a novel context with new results. So copying someone else is probably not the answer, and most of us should avoid trying to copy North Metro or Runniga because they seem to have a handle on who they are. But that doesn't mean that's who we are. So knowing who our groups are, chorus and quartet alike, if you kind of know who you are, I think that's a helpful thing. And it's the hardest thing to learn sometimes when you're with a new group or a new director, because it takes a while to develop that. Rob's been back now directing for a little bit, so I'm sure that the personality of your chorus, it begins to click around to who you are and who you are with them. That's different than just stepping in and starting to direct someone. I know when I was at Buffalo, I think it took us a good 5 years before we honestly kind of were going in the same direction, thinking the same things. So, and then stagecraft is all of that other stuff over here. So here's the overall definition of it. Stagecraft are the theatrical tools that are created to assist the performer in bringing the music to life on stage. So, designed in advance, this is the visual plan, and those are the elements. Now, here's something I think really important. When you see this in the actual manual, they list choreography / staging. They put that together. Choreography wasn't a separate entity. They just said choreography / staging, which means that maybe some of our groups would do better to stage things than to do memorized choreography in everything that we do. It's okay to stage. So we didn't want the assumption that choreography is required. Does that make sense? So if you don't do choreography, but you stage things, you put things in different areas on the stage, maybe with different expressions and things, that's okay too. So we just didn't want people to feel that they must do that, the choreography. Sometimes when I'm coaching groups, I have them down on the floor and they do role playing, then they go back up on the risers and you say, do what you did on the floor, your own expression. The music is actually better than when we all of a sudden go to a memorized plan that some people don't feel comfortable with. So you have to know your own group and know what to do with that. But choreography / staging, I think that's kind of a neat change. Costumes listed, makeup / hairstyles, props / stage decoration. Certainly that lands in there a lot of times when people are doing packages, but we are seeing more and more groups using props and stage decorations, even for their 2-song sets. So if you are doing that, that is also evaluated in how effective it was. And then the non-singing moments are the entrance, break, exit, the pitch pipe technique, and at international, lighting is evaluated now. Oh yeah, so when you go to international, and some of you will be, your choice of lighting. I would say that you would probably not use bright white lights on a ballad that you wanted to bring things down into a very emotional, way. So think about that. There's all kinds of colors available, and they take you through all of that in the briefing. So anyway, we don't have a choice in a 2-song set, but when we're at international, we have choice in lighting, and so that's evaluated as well. Any questions? We're good? Okay. Oh, Martha.
Yeah, Di, will the thing about talking or emceeing be discussed today?
Talking on stage?
Yeah, like
Or
in the song. Like I heard, quote, heard that if in a song, I don't know, everybody says Yahoo or whatever within the musical component of it, and of course it relates to what they're singing and how it's going. Um, does that go into a category? And I'm also thinking internationally, right?
yeah, of course.
Emceeing, if that goes into the same category that you just were discussing.
A one-word thing like that is not an issue.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing has really changed from whatever that said before. Sometimes you'll hear a director count off, before a song starts or something like that. I mean, those things are permissible still.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be too nervous about it. But, if all of a sudden you're speaking through a whole line and we've lost chords and it's just a lot of talking, or I think with the guys, they're a lot more flexible that way. They can actually stop singing sometimes and they insert jokes and things. But I would not attempt that still in Sweet Adeline's, unless, of course, disqualification is your goal.
No.
No. So, no, but the little one word thing, I mean, we're working on a song too, and I think that's going to happen, but it's just if it's effective, see, the thing is, again, it's evaluated. Was it effective? Did it pull a laugh, or did it make the song better or more meaningful? A little one-word shout out like that is not a problem. So don't be too afraid of those things. That's the other thing. We plan to avoid breaking the rules. Do what's gonna show you off the best. Run it past somebody then, and you can always modify.
Paula Allen has a question, Di.
Hey, Paula.
Hey, Diane, it's so good to see you. You warm my heart.
Aw.
I have a question about the word staging. You've talked about it now a little bit. Is that expanded when we read the book? Because that's a new word on the score sheet for us. So it's
Right.
not just where people are, like little groups here and there. Is that described somewhere?
When I'm looking at what's here, I don't think they go much into it. They just say choreography / staging. And like, I think of things that Aaron does. Oftentimes, like, you'll have some choreography. There's a lot of choreography for the front row often, but what the back chorus does could be more staged than movement. Instead of a full chorus being moved around. We've seen people coming off the risers completely. I mean, things like that are happening. And come right to the edge of the stage in the middle of a song. That could be considered staging. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think of performances that would really show that off. Runniga did something a few years ago, but it was within their package, where they actually brought out another riser section and all that stuff.
Yeah, they turned them around. It was amazing. I was there.
Yeah, but I mean, there are stuff. I'm thinking of Cindy Hansen. She does a lot of choreography, but a lot of staging type things. She was there working with us as well, and she split people into 3 groups, and they did different things. It was different than choreography. It was what this group does. That's how they're staged now. They present this character there. It was we were way loose about individual performance within that. So it wasn't all this exact hand has to be here, here, here kind of thing. It was just I don't know, freer. So, but the staging thing, and you know what, you could talk to Aaron about that too. But when you think about a lot of things that North Metro does, actually, when they did their Newsies package this last time too, the chorus is there. And then all of a sudden the front row's doing something, and then people do things in chunks. It isn't that they aren't a unit, but there's so many things with characterization and stuff that happen that help to stage things. I think what we're trying to get away from is people thinking that you must be choreographed when you could be effective in other ways. We've gotten to the point where people say, well, we have to do choreography. Well, you have to stage, so you have to do something physically that helps with the meaning of the song. But I think and it's Sweet Adelines, this is what we do. We take everything and all of a sudden it becomes a mess because we try to do too much. So if choreography is a problem for your chorus, I'm going to say, let's think of some of the people in the lower levels, and they're wanting to add choreography to something, and they probably would sing better if you could assign a specific thing to a group here and to here, and not worry about where arms and legs and do I travel from point A to B and all of that. That actually gets in the way of what they're trying to do.
Di, we have three questions in queue. First is from Cheryl.
Just a quick clarification question about hair. When I first started 16 years ago, you had to have it like all completely off of your face, but it seems to be a little more lax the last few years when I watch different courses. So just a quick question about that.
Well, and I'm going to give you an answer that I hope makes everybody happy. Number one, we are still looking for people to look professional on stage. Sweet Adelines, we've gone through the whole thing about the buffalo turds on the top, and that if anyone had long hair, you had to pull it back and put it up Now, if you look at Runiga, we're going to look at them toward the end of today. They all have their hair up. That's their choice. And they wear those little fascinator things. And they do that for a unit look. That's their requirement. But if you look at so many performers right now, choruses and quartets, you will see people with long hair, beautifully done. I think the one thing you want to do, though, is avoid it hanging over. If you have something on your costume that helps to point up the face, you don't want hair hanging on the front of the costume to cover that amenity. But we're seeing people with long hair throw it back. We still want some height here if you have it, but there's also women who have no hair. What are you going to do about that? Maybe they choose to be bald. Maybe they have to be bald. Maybe they can't wear a wig and they're going through cancer treatments. We don't know. We're not placing judgment on that at all. And there are some people that wear pink hair, and purple hair, and green hair, and all those other things. So let's put it this way. If you find that it's distracting when you look at the whole unit, maybe you could do something about it. I don't think we're going to see comments about hair color. This is gone. It's just gone. I mean, just because you can't grow purple hair doesn't mean you can't have it. I mean, I can't grow brown hair anymore, but I, for $50 or less, can fix that. So
we have another question from Yanoke.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Hi, Diane.
Hi.
So good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. This is very exciting. It sounds like if it's our cup of tea, we could take a 2-song set and make a little mini show of that.
Exactly. Yeah. That would be awesome. Can you imagine 2-song sets that were mini shows instead of here's our first song, bow, turn, pitch up, here's our second song. And that's the other part that I think that the open division has helped. Now people are trying to be more creative about a 2-song set. So it isn't just look at our vocal skills on a ballad and an uptune. We really would love to see more done with the break between songs and things that add creativity to the 2-song set. So good comment on that. Yes.
Rob Snowden, I think you're next.
Hey, Di.
Hey, Rob.
Love that smile. Always bright. I'm excited as well for this because it basically sounds to me along the lines of Yanoki's is, 2 songs and doing a show or doing a set, but it sounds as if we have the freedom or a lot more freedom to do creative things, whether we, instead of standing everybody in the risers, we put a group over here, we put props up on the stage that enhance what we're talking about or singing about, allowing us to do that. And obviously, like you would a song, you just check before. If it's not going to affect anything and make it better, you can do it. It's not about you guys saying, or the judging changing this to say you can't do this. They're actually changing it to say do more, and we will let you know if it worked. Because if you're going to do all that stuff and it's not working, well, you should know that before you hit the stage. And if you don't, then it's a learning thing. And I'm gonna guess that there's probably going to be 2 or 3 cycles of contests where people are getting used to it and people are trying different things and it didn't work. Okay, whatsoever, that's fine. We learn from it and we move on, because we're actually going to be more expressive at this point and being more creative and using whatever we think is going to work.
Oh, your points are so well taken, and it's exactly what's happening. Now, we've been judging this way without all of this update in the language, I think, for some time, because there are 2-song sets and people are using props, but those are going to be the people that push the walls, and they don't worry about it. They just go do it. We're updating the language to say by all means. I get a sense now the category reflects more of an encouragement to go out and be who you are and be creative than it does the other way. I remember all I ever heard about when I first got in is don't do this or they take points away, which everybody starts at 0 and you accumulate points. No one's ever walked out at 100 points and we start taking points away. But that's how we think. Some people just are so negative. It's like, oh, they'll take points away. Don't do that. You'll lose points. No, you actually acquire points by doing more and more things right. But this language now, and when you get into the whole category and read it, it's, to me, it's uplifting. It's giving permission to go out and know who you are, and come on, let's get the audience. It's all about the audience. This is the thing Erin has always said. It's about the audience. And so we become very much focused, we all do, on our groups and how do we do things versus why do we do that? Think of how cool that would be for the audience if we did that. So it is all about the audience now. And when you take your focus and put it on the audience, it's amazing what our choruses and quartets actually do. It relaxes you because you're thinking about making somebody happy rather than becoming so internal. And all this language and all of this is about the audience, the connection to the audience. I love it.
One last question in the chat, Di, regarding the movement from choreography to stagecraft. Is that about moving away from absolute synchronized precise moves?
No, we're not discouraging choreography, and it's choreography / staging. Stagecraft is the overall description of that whole pitch pipe technique, costumes, all that, but it's choreography / staging. And a lot of that can play into whether you're doing a package as well. A lot of times we use different staging techniques when you're into a package. So they put that language there for that reason. Do things have to be precise? Let's put it this way. If you are doing choreography, it needs to, number one, help the vocal skill level, and it needs to help you convey the meaning of the song. If it doesn't, you're probably going to have sync errors because people are not all doing it in an alike way. If I'm looking at choreography in a chorus, I would want to be looking at how do we stage it first, and then what would I do naturally, and try to unify natural movements. But what happens is people, where does my arm go? Where does my leg go? Now if you're doing a band song, would that not be inherent that precision would be absolutely incredibly important? Because band songs are that precise 1-3 downbeat thing, and things, that's the personality of a band. And that's why band songs are hard to sing, because they require such precision physically without jerking around your wonderful smooth singing. So choreography, if you're doing it, and there's nothing wrong with it, we should do it, but it's got to have, it needs to be meaningful, and it needs to be musical. So you can have 5 people in your chorus that do a move slightly differently. There is a difference between precision and using a move to sell the meaning of the song. So when we go for absolute precision, I think in a regular choreographed song, it's not a band song, I'm talking about something else, precision isn't what makes the score go up. The alikeness of, was the choreography driven by characterization, or did we just choreograph a character? Because the characterization behind the choreography is what makes it. It's what makes you musical and what makes it work. So look at your singers. If their hands are up in the air when they should be more in their mid area, we don't want people self-directing music. But there is no reason, if the girl next to you her hand is 3 inches lower than yours, my God, I'm telling you, there's something way wrong with your singing if we're making comments about that. And people get upset about that. They actually, there were days that we used to measure hemlines from the floor. So you'd have some girl couldn't even be in the front row because she's 6'2", and the girl next to her is 4'11". And now think about it. One of them's in a Barbie doll dress. It's like stupid. So we're not measuring hemlines from the floor. That's not unity. The unity should come from the expression of the music through the choreography, not the choreography negatively impacting your expression. So it should be done together, yes, but not every person. If I say, all right, look at me and I want to see joy, well, you're going to see everybody in this meeting, there's 95 people here. You're going to have 95 renditions of joy. And all of it would convey joy to the audience without the audience looking and saying there were 95 versions of joy. So it's the energy behind you personally. Now, but if I do this, joy. Those are the people you just have to help. And you know what? It's a lack of confidence. That's all it is. The more confident your singers are, the more they will do. They will express what they need to do. I don't know if that answered your question or not. Yeah?
I think so. She's given us the jazz hands, so that's a good thing.
Okay, good. Because I see myself really big right now. So I just see like 6 of you right now. So I'm watching you. Watching your joy. Anybody else? Any questions there? So you have the link to that, so it would probably be easier for them. I can, you know.
The link to I gave them the link to the judging category description booklet chapter.
Good.
And I also gave them the YouTube link to the category overview that Becky
Yes.
Hine and those folks
Yes,
did.
and I would absolutely take a look at that, especially directors and people on music teams and on visual teams. You want to get the overall from the people who designed it, because they really are very specific. All of us that are in this category are training on this now. So we're going to be very ready next spring when we all get back to contest. But what's hard for someone like me is that there's a flow to the score sheet as we knew it before. And now I think it's a plus, because it really makes me think a lot more instead of getting into the redundancy of the category language. You've seen those score sheets. Blah, 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 blah. And you go, yeah, well, whatever that means. So now we're actually going to probably take our time and really look at what we're saying too, because we have to think about it a little bit more. And that's good. Okay.
A question, is the old "a prop can't leave your hand" thing gone?
That's been gone for quite some time. That has been gone. Oh gosh, I would say at least 5 years, if not more. So we used to have a rule about handheld props, and they couldn't touch the floor. Well, we know one thing: you can't throw stuff from the audience and throw it out into the audience. That my quartet did that at the end of a wedding set when we did the dummies and the brides and the grooms, and then at the end we took the bow and we threw 4 flowers out in the audience. So that would be a penalty, even if we were done singing. Can't do that. I think because it scares the crap out of the judges, mostly. So don't throw anything at them or anybody else out there, but keep it on stage. And the biggest thing with Sweet Adelines is we don't have a cleanup crew. So whatever you bring out, you have to take out with you. The stage should be in the same condition it was when you got there. But we can do those things. Props can touch the floor. We're seeing people come out with signage and all kinds of cool stuff. And you can attach things to the risers as long as you take it with you. And why not do it in a 2-song set? Doesn't have to be a package any more than 2 songs. So I think we're going to start seeing a lot more fun stuff. Okay, I'm reading yeses, but I see costuming as being more important to the story than sparkling. I think, Joanne, come on talk.
Unmute, Joanne.
Hi, Di. How's it going?
Good. How about you?
Good. Yeah, I just, based on what you're talking about, I feel like costuming, I've always had not an issue, but I've always been interested in the costuming in some ways, thinking that we all kind of look the same. Every chorus comes out and we're all sparkling and this and that. And I've never really felt that a lot of these costumes do much for the story that we're trying to tell, my own self, nor for the comfort really of the people singing. Not that comfort is necessarily what you want for professionalism, but certainly for singing, I think that trying to be a little bit more comfortable and sell a story. So I am curious as to whether this may may slow down how many sparkles we think we need to have when we're on stage, as for telling the story. I'm just curious as a judge, if you have an opinion on that.
Well, I can share opinions from when the judging community talks about this, the people in this category. And you're seeing more and more people not wearing the identical same costume. So there isn't any, again, Sweet Adelines has done this to itself, because even in the old category, it doesn't say that costumes must be exactly alike. We stress unity, and we go and we take the word unity and we change it to a meaning that says clone. And so for years, and then if you see your winners come out and they're in a lot of sparkles, then everybody does a lot of sparkles. And sequins don't sing, and nor does nail polish, eyelashes, or any of those things. But if it makes you feel better and you feel like $1,000,000 and you've rehearsed in it, oh my God, I don't want to lose my train of thought. But quartets, when you get new shoes, make sure that you practice in them on a similar floor like the one you're going to have for contests, because what you see sometimes, the quartets put on their brand new shoes, and they're usually really shiny and whatever, because of course having shiny shoes matters a lot when your head is 5 feet above that. But that's another story. So many of them walk out so carefully and with trepidation because they are not used to being in those shoes. So wear them a lot so they feel like a part of your performance. I just want to say that to quartets. And choruses, shoes, you don't want anybody wearing something that's distracting. The people that are most visible, it's probably helpful if they have a shoe that's real similar, just because we don't want people looking at your feet. But if people, there's a lot of people I know in choruses all over. If you're wearing black 2-inch heels, there may be many that need to be in flats. So what? Then put them in flats. Be comfortable. So we have thought always about this unity thing, meaning cloned. Lots of sequence. When I judged in Region 16, it was my second year judging, and I was on the panel, and I could not figure out why everybody, and I mean everybody, had glitter in their hair. Everybody. Then I saw North Metro wore glitter in their hair. And so what happens is what the winners do, we do, because we all assume then that glitter in our hair would help us sing better. Well, North Metro can sing their way out of gunny sacks. So, people have to understand that it isn't what they're wearing. That's just final details for them. So we have to prioritize what's important to us. Would we like to wear an array of colors and we're not singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow? You could do that, but everybody needs to look good in it. That's the most important thing. Look good in it. You're seeing lots of different costuming things. Now, if you choose, let's say the whole chorus chooses you're going to do blacks and silvers and grays, you can't have one person come out with a black sequined vest and nobody else has it anywhere else. It can't be just a free-for-all. You still want to go for some symmetry, even though the styles are different. Why? Because that would be distracting. It would distract from your performance. So I find it's easier to say everybody wear the same costume. It's just easier. Good, put it on, we're all alike. But we're seeing a lot more creativity, a lot more colors being used, combinations of things. Don't be afraid to do it. But you know what? If you are an extra large, you've been on a diet for 10 days, and now you think you're a medium, do not go there. Because it isn't. We should wear things that are a little bit larger than fitting for most people. And let's say somebody went in, had the surgery, and you've lost 65 pounds. The costume you had before probably needs to be redone a little bit. It shouldn't hang on you either. So I'm just saying, you can use other colors and all that. There's no problem with it, but things should fit, and it doesn't have to have sequins. Let's put it that way. Sequins are something we steal from years ago. Everybody says we have to have sequins. You don't have to. Rhinestones. If you're doing something sophisticated, that's great. Do it. but sing the snot out of everything you do. That's number one. I would spend a lot of money in areas that help me sing better than, and all of our singers, than actually how we look. Just be put together, look great, but you don't have to have sequence to look great. Does that help?
One last question, very quick, about, I hate to bring it up. Was there any talk, if we are still having to mask indoors, how that will be judged? Hoping we don't have to wear them by then.
I don't think there's going to be a contest if you're at a point where it has to be masked indoors. There won't be a contest. That's my opinion. I don't think that there would be a contest unless it's safe to have a contest. Now, I'm going to say, I want to just say about what's happening over here on this side of the bridge. Our chorus, in spite of what Sweet Adeline's recommended, we have our team leader and 3 nurses on this task force and reviewed everything. And so we decided, and we took a poll from the chorus, and there were 4 people that didn't answer the questionnaire about whether they were vaccinated or not, and it was an anonymous questionnaire done on Google Docs, so we don't know who the people are. But 4 people didn't answer that question, are you vaccinated? The rest did, and 2 people said no, they aren't, but they're going to be. Well, now we're down to 2 people, and one just resigned because she moved to Florida and thought it would be kind of not possible to be here on a weekly basis. So she was one that refused to be vaccinated. We have one who is holding out, but I think she's going to change it because being on Zoom is not turning her crank quite so much. We're Zooming our rehearsals, but everyone in our hall is vaccinated, and the guests have to be vaccinated, and they have to bring proof of vaccination, and we're getting guests and they're bringing the proof of vaccination. So the whole thing about this is we wanted the vast majority of our people to feel safe. As a result, we're rehearsing indoors, socially distanced, without masks. And to hear harmony coming out of a person's mouth and into the sky is amazing. I've never decided that I appreciate this so much as the last few weeks. Now, that can happen for everybody's going to have to determine it themselves. But Sue, I can't imagine that we would, if we're still in a place where wearing a mask indoors is required, I think that's going to be a shaky business to have a contest. You guys it's going to change up there. It's going to change faster than you think. Because our new president, the one that many of us love, actually thinks that helping other countries would be a nice thing. So now we have more vaccines than we know what to do with now. So maybe we'll get some up there to help out. But you have a different requirement. Like you have to wait 40 days? How many is it?
12 weeks for me. 12 weeks.
12 weeks.
12 weeks in between shots?
Yeah.
Well, you could die by then. So you get your first shot, you have to wait 12 weeks. Then you get your second shot and you have to wait 12 weeks.
It maximizes the efficacy.
Yeah, it actually does. It does maximize. Yeah.
Do you have different vaccines than us, or are we just being reckless down here?
Well, you've always been reckless, but.
Well, whatever. Maybe they'll, I don't know, whatever it works. You know you're at the end of the tunnel if the vaccines are moving. So hang in there. We learned a lot on Zoom. I found out when we got back, I want you to know this, all directors especially, I'm saying this to you. The things that we've been teaching on Zoom, the coaching all of us have been getting, and what we're working on here, even though people are muted and all of that stuff, it's in here. The stamina has to be higher, but I could hear so many improvements from the last time that we were together, our chorus, that little minor things that I don't think we could have taught any more efficiently. So I'm really happy. It's better than I thought it was going to be. Cool. Open the damn border. Yes, Martha.
There, had to unmute. Di, is your entire chorus rehearsing right now, or have you split into two, or just okay, cool.
We're in the gym for 2 hours. The management team said no more than 2 hours. That includes warm-ups, includes guest introductions, includes anything we do. We're not going into breakouts, but what we are doing is standing in small groups with our assigned listener person, the section directors, throughout the gym.
Right.
And then we will sing a portion of something, taking our time, stop, coach it, talk about it. What did you hear? That kind of thing. So we're within pods within the chorus, but we can also sing as a full chorus. People can wear a mask if they want, but so far nobody is. Everybody's vaccinated, and it's working. It's working. And we don't have air conditioning. And one thing we're not doing is we're not turning on fans. We're not blowing anything around in the room yet. We open the doors and we fan people out. And so far, so good. Everybody's feeling very safe.
Great. Another question, back to the visual communications topic. Regarding the 2-song sets, I assume there will not be MC work allowed?
Correct. That's a very safe assumption. So if you're going to do things that you need emceeing, perhaps you use a sign. Be creative with how that happens. But there's still no talking in the 2-song set. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So we're good. I mean, there's a question about our regional contest in 2022. That's really not the forum for this. I know it's on everybody's mind, but I can speak to the fact that we will definitely follow the advice of the health authorities in Ontario province, where we had planned to hold our contest. So, more to come from the convention team on that.
I think you guys are going to be great. Not only that, get ready for growth. The organization's going to regrow when everybody gets back out there, because there's way too many singers out there that are just dying to do singing again. So be smart about your marketing. Market now. Make sure your name is out there all the time, because we're going to grow again. And for some people with COVID, let's face it, we did not lose any members except the one that moved to Florida, which I'm very happy about. Thank God for Zoom. Even though people are sick of Zoom, thank God for Zoom. But outside of that, we hung on to folks. Some choruses have had people go away. They haven't been on Zoom because they can't deal with it. We had 5 members that just couldn't deal with Zoom, but they're all back because we're back personally. So if you have people that are holdouts on that, you'll see them back. They'll come back. And maybe some people needed to use this as their excuse to leave now because they were going to go anyway. But the energy when you get back in that hall and you start singing, you want women to know about you. We're going to grow. You're all going to grow. So you're ready for a mock contest. So here's what you need to do. Can you be sure that you have a note tablet or some paper and something to write with? And the handout that says performance level guidelines for the sound category. I should do, when I have a background like that, doesn't it? All right, so you need something to write with. Now, on your notepad or your piece of paper, please write down, we're going to do 5 performances, 1 song each. 1 song each. So there's contestant 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Leave enough space so that you can make some notes or use separate pages for each contestant, whatever you want to do, but you'll need some space in between the contestants to take some notes. All right, now go to the performance level guidelines. that handout that Sue sent. And you're probably saying, we're doing the visual communication category. Why are we looking at a sound sheet here? Well, the reason is twofold. Number one, the judge specialists are still working on updated language for the performance level guidelines for the visual communication category. That's number one. So why use the old sheet? Number two, if you look at the very first descriptor in each of the boxes, those all refer to vocal skills. So the only thing we're going to refer to today is the first descriptor in each box. For instance, go down to the C- box, lower right hand. It says vocal skills weak, but beginnings of work apparent. If you go up to the sound category, the middle column, A level, exceptional mastery of vocal skills. So you see, the first line is all about vocal skills. That's the only thing that we're going to address today in each of those boxes. Now, in every category on these performance level guidelines, the first line says the same thing. So it doesn't matter if we had another category in front of us. The first line says the same thing about vocal skills. Every one of us has been taught to identify vocal skill level number one. So when people say, well, how much does it matter about if I do this and this and this? Let me say this. The higher the singing level, the higher your score will be in this category, period. Vocal skills is number one. So that in mind, just come with me for a second. Let's go to the C- level. This one says, and let's just compare the language just a little bit. Here it says vocal skills weak. Oh, but there's a sign. There's a sign that they kind of get it. It's starting to show. Then you move to your left and we have C level. Vocal skills understood. Now there's a difference between weak vocal skills and vocal skills that are understood, but inconsistent. Now you're going to see this word inconsistent for several levels. Then move over to C+. The work on vocal skills is apparent, but it's still in progress. A little bit different than, they understand the vocal skills. Now it's apparent they understand the vocal skills. Are you with me? So if you were sitting in the pit doing this kind of thing, the first thing all you're doing is really listening for those vocal skills and trying to get a handle on what it is you think you hear. Look to B-. Now go up to B-. There's a difference between vocal skills are apparent and vocal skills are generally good, but inconsistent. Then we have B level. Vocal skills are strong, but not a habit. Now, for any of us sitting in this room, at some point or another, we have worked through some of this and continue to work through these slight little degrees of improvement. B+ level, strong vocal skills demonstrated. Now, here's the first level that we don't have, but inconsistent. So B+. And then we go up to A-. This is where, oh God, this is a tough corner to turn. But all of a sudden we get high level of proficiency in vocal skills is demonstrated. That's even better than vocal skills, just strong vocal skills. Now it's a high level of proficient. They're proficient at strong vocal skills. And then we go to A level, exceptional mastery of vocal skills. This is where our wonderful North Metro tends to hang around by default. I know they work hard at it, but are we jealous? Okay, then we go to A+, complete mastery of vocal skills. Now, our champion choruses oftentimes are in this area of A and A+ now. So if you're singing B+ and you go to international, it's probably not likely that you'd win the contest yet. So if you look at just those areas, C-, C, C+, B-, and B, you still see things that say inconsistent, not a habit. And then at B+, there's it's clear when you're in the audience when B+ comes out. It's just, You go, oh, and you kind of sit back and relax a little bit. And you don't worry for them quite so much. And then we get up to A minus, and it's like, oh, that's probably our winner today. But there is a definite sense about that. Now, we have B plus choruses that are winning contests too, don't get me wrong. And we also have choruses who score A minus at regional and B plus at international. Because now you're in the game where all the winners are, and we have to be very discerning. So if that happens, don't be disappointed. I always say you have to actually be a level higher than you were before in order to probably come out where you were in regional. It's a different comfort zone, singing with thousands of people in front of you on a bigger stage. So those are just things to expect. I mean, you might be the kid that wins the race in your park, your park physical ed program down the street, and then you enter the Olympics, and it's just a little different there. So that's all you're going to look at. All of the other things underneath there, you don't have to be concerned with those. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play 5 videos back to back. And we'll just pause for a second in between. And I want you to write down, here's how I want you to do this. You're going to write down 3 times you're going to take the level on each performance. So part of your notes is this. You're going to write a level that you think that is to you in the intro or the verse that they sing in the beginning. Then check again about the middle of the song, write a level again, and at the end of the song, write a level for the end of the song. Now I'm going to suggest to you that in most cases, there are varying levels within these songs. And that's how we end up with our scores. The overall average of where were you in the beginning, what was the middle, what was the end. And only groups that have a high stamina level and sing extremely well are consistent from beginning to end. All of us that are sitting in the pit are doing that. Some of us just write, let's say I hear B, I write B, and some of us just write an arrow up or down as the thing goes on. You can do whatever, but I think it's a good exercise for you to write it down. I think that is C. Oh, they got better, or they got worse, and now they're better again. Then kind of take an overall average. We are not going to do numbers, just letter scores. Just letter. Now, so just imagine then that inside of every chorus, we have singers who sing at different levels. Just imagine, because we do. And so if we have a singer that sings at C level in our chorus, what we would want to do is become a C plus singer, while I'm standing next to someone who is a B singer. So what we do is we take everybody, we throw them together, and we end up with a higher score as a result of everyone singing than we would if we sang individually. Almost always. It's almost always that way. That's why I love chorus, because it's the putting together all skill sets to reach our maximum potential. So we're listening to choruses today. I don't have any quartets. And quartets, that would be, well, you have to find people that are of a like skill set, which is the most joyful. If you're C-level singers, then sing with C-level singers, because you won't drive each other nuts. But you don't want to sing with a B plus level singer if you're a C-level singer, and it takes longer to learn because you will go out of your mind. Both of you, all of you. Okay, enough said on that. So I'm going to cue this up, and I'll set it on share. And the thing is, there's one song each, and you're just going to take the levels 3 times and then write an overall average score. Now you might want to, just to remember things, because you're going to go into discussion groups for 5 minutes after this, you might want to write things like what they were wearing, or whatever jogs your memory as to maybe the name of the song, or whatever makes you remember who they were. It takes me just a second because I have to move around on their videos to get to the right place. I download all of these to my computer, so I'm hoping the quality is really, really good for you. All right, let me get this set. Get ready. Oh, and it's going to show you already what it is. I don't want that to be. All right. It's a coming. Okay, so I just want to check that that's coming through.
Not loud enough.
I don't think I can control much more of that.
We can turn up our own speaker
Yeah.
if it's not loud enough.
Turn it up or put headsets on, because some of it is the way it's recorded. Okay, we're going to keep going.
Waiting for your phone call for 18 years. Maybe you don't love me anymore. How long must I wait for you to keep our date? Could it be, sweetheart, that you are sore? Are you sore? I've been waiting for your phone call for 18 years. You said you'd call me back someday. I've wasted my youth in a telephone booth. How could you treat your only love this way? I was young and healthy when you left me. Has your love grown cold? You're acting strange. Could it be you're fickle? Or didn't you have a nickel? If you'd have written, I'd have said the change. The change. I've been waiting for your phone call for 18 years. Could it be you found somebody, someone new? I'm gonna keep score for 18 more. But after that, baby, we're through. Better believe it. After that, baby, it's buzz off Buster. After that, baby, goodbye. Bye-bye.
All right, so just figure out kind of what your overall average is. The name of that song is I've Been Waiting for Your Phone Call. Contestant number 2.
Gonna be some changes made today. There'll be a change in the weather, a change in the sea. And from now on there'll be a change in me. My walk will be different, my talk and my name. Nothing about me's gonna be the same. I'm gonna change my way of living. If that ain't enough, I'll even change. I'll change the way I strut my stuff. The future's getting brighter day by day. There'll be some changes made today. There'll be some changes made. There'll be a change in the fashions, a change in the shoes. And from now on, we'll shake those old taboos. Our hair will be shorter, our shirts will be bright. We'll cast our vote and win the right to fight. We're gonna change our way of living. If that ain't enough, we'll leave change will change the way we strut our stuff. The future is getting better day by day. There'll be some changes made today. There'll be some changes. Double dare, I'm gonna dye my hair. I'm gonna change my life. I so wear.
Okay, we're going on to number 3.
We are ready for contestant number 8 from
Sorry.
Standing here today, I see you come my way. You give your hand to me, and then you say hello. And I can hardly speak, my heart is beating so. As anyone could tell, you think you know me well, but you don't know me, no. You don't know me.
I'm going to stop for just a second because I want to address the hair thing. This, somebody asked about hair before. Overall, I think this looks very nice, and there's quite a variety of hairstyles here, including purple. Here we go.
You don't know the one who dreams of you and you at night, who loves to kiss your lips, who longs to hold you tight. To you I'm just a friend, that's all I've ever been. No,
contestant number 4.
Farmington Valley Chorus.
Maybe I'm old-fashioned, feeling as I do. Maybe I'm just living in the past. But when I meet the right one, I know that I'll be true. My first love will be my last. When I fall in love, it will be forever, or I'll never fall in love. In a restless world like this is, love has ended before it's begun, and too many moonlight kisses seem to cool in the warmth of the sun. When I give my heart will be completely, or I'll never, never give my heart. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too. Then I'll fall in love. That's when I'll fall in love, and I will give my heart to you. I will give my heart all to
And here's our final contestant.
Light Region.
At least one moment every day, the echo of your voice, I hear your voice, and slowly, slowly my mind is
not too bad. Singing in their second language. Okay, so Sue is going to send us into groups with 4 to 5 people, whatever works out the best. And we're going to be in there for 5 minutes. Now, here's what I want you to do. Check with each other. Nobody's right or wrong on this until we come back, and I'll tell you more about everything. But just check with each other and what letter grade you gave each of those performers. And spend a little bit of time talking about contestant number 3 and 4 comparatively. Sue, actually, let's give them about 7 minutes. That's going to take a few minutes there. But talk about contestant 3 and 4 and what you discovered there. And then we'll pull you all back. And if each room could just have a spokesman, we could just go around. Sue, if you could, we could just check if anybody would like to share. We were pretty much on the same path, or we definitely didn't agree. It'd be kind of fun to know. We don't have to know what all your scores are, but how the discussion in the rooms went.
It's so hard because you hear this, and as Diane said, it's A, no, wait, B, no, wait, B minus, no, they've gone back to A, B plus. So I appreciate you 100%.
Absolutely. Room 6, Cheryl, Jean, Liz, and NJ from Buffalo Gateway. Who's your spokesperson?
No, we didn't pick one, but okay.
We have one now.
3 and 4. We had a little bit of mix, but we decided that one was a B plus and one was an A minus. They were so close. I found that 3 started out stronger and went a little bit weaker as they went on, and 4 started out actually lower but ended up improved as they went. So yeah, A minus and a B plus, like mix.
Thanks, Cheryl. Room 7, Anna, Carol, Cindy Klinger, Diane.
Yes, we were pretty much in tandem all the way through. 3 for us was a B plus, and the 4s grew into an A. We had a question, which you could probably answer later, concerning 4 and 5. If one chorus pulls off a song of higher difficulty and has a complete mastery of, and another has a complete mastery of an easier song, does the higher level of difficulty achieve more points?
No.
There you go. Okay. I asked that for our group.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you so much. Room 8, Brenda, Pauline, and Raymond.
Hi, I guess I'm the spokesperson. Quickly on the way out, they said, Pauline, you can do it. So we are kind of the same as Martha, because first of all, like, huge respect for the judges. I have no idea how you do this, but I was going like, so number 3 was, we both thought was a B plus. We all thought was a B plus. And then for number 4, we were mixed between B plus and B. So we did think that 3 was slightly better, but who knows? We could be completely wrong.
Thanks, Pauline. Room 9, Anne, Christine, Glenda, and Janet.
So we put both 3 and 4 at a B plus. For 3, we were fairly mixed on what we heard. Some of us heard A minus, some of us heard C on that. So there was a lot of, we're averaging out at a B plus. And for 4, a lot of us had sung that song before, so maybe we were a bit more critical of it. So we put them at a B plus as well.
Thank you so much. Room 10, Alana, Nancy, Leela.
Hi. So we had a bit of a mix as well. Some of us had some internet issues hearing it. We did have between a B and a B plus for both of them. They were kind of equal. We did find that number 3 was a little bit more on the B plus side. However, one of the things that we really noticed was, even though we're talking about visual communication, I found that by not watching them at all and just keeping my head down and just listening made all the difference between watching all of them. When I first watched the very first one compared to the 5th one, it made such a difference in what I could pick up in hearing.
Well, so now do not apply to be a visual communication judge. but go in for the other categories.
Right. Thanks, Alana. Room 11, Heather, Kim, Linda. Welcome to Linda, one of our Region 16 Emeritus members also from Region 15. And Linda, 2 Lindas.
We had just 3 people in our breakout, Linda, myself, and Kim, and we were pretty well in agreement and enjoyed all of the performances. And yes, God bless the judges that they're doing what they're doing, because it is challenging. We found with us 3 and 4, we were pretty much in agreement. We had actually an A- for 3 and a B+ for 4, but really when we were talking, as you've all said, you adjust as you go through and readjust and reconsider. And I think the advice of keeping your head down was really good. I should have done it, but it's so great to see and hear everybody.
Thank you. Room 12, Colleen, Heather, and Michelle.
Yeah, we had some mixed scores on 3 and 4 as well. Kind of on 3 we had between a B and an A-, and on 4 we were kind of around the A- scores. And thank you, judges.
Great. Room 13, Paula, Janet, Megan, and Pat.
Well, Paula volunteered me in the chat to do this. Thanks, Paula. So we ironically didn't fully talk about letters. There were a couple of us that did, but we kind of flip-flopped between the two. It wasn't like a consensus. A few of us thought that 4 had a slight edge over 3, but then somebody else said they preferred 3s to 4s. And so I really do think it was a mix of the middle was the defining number for us, the middle of the song. So we'd say probably like B+, A- for the second, or B+.
Yeah, and just a comment in the chat, Di, that this person says she can't imagine being a judge. Her hands were sweating during that 4 minutes in the breakout room. Room 14, Laura, Lorraine, Rob, and Tammy.
Okay, I guess I'll go. So, hello, everyone.
Hey, Rob.
We had the same kind of thing of 3 and 4, basically between the high B+ and the low A-, like right there, fairly close between the 2 of them. The thing that I found between all of them was the word consistency. Like as you went through them, everything was more consistent. That's what we thought. We thought number 4 was slightly higher. And then the last thing I'll say is the hardest thing, I think, even when I try to do it in contests and try to, mark it down, and all of us listening here, and we talked about it briefly, was how you can't compare the one that just walked off to the one that's coming on. And it's hard when you watch 3 or 4, but when you get up into 25, 30 choruses, you won't remember the ones from 10 ago. But I think that's the hardest thing, is not to compare, because that's what humans do. So awesome, judges.
Very good comment.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, very appropriate. Room 15, Anne, Audrey, and Carol.
Oh, hi, that would be me. Hi, Di. Lovely
Hi.
to see you. Thank you. This has been great.
Good.
Okay, so our group was kind of divided between which one was higher, but it was pretty minimal. We ended up with, I believe, A- for number 3 and B+ for 4. So it was very close. And we had, amongst the group, we had a little bit of discrepancy. Well, not discrepancy, but some went for 3, some went for 4 higher, and so on. So it was great.
Thank you. Room 16, Belinda, Yanoke, JJ, and Marcia.
That's going to be me. We found it a really very good exercise to try to judge, and it's challenging and evidently needs practice. So thank you very much, judges. Again, like everybody else, we found that 3 and 4 overlapped a lot. And we thought that maybe when you looked at the score sheets later, you'd see that, one was higher in this aspect or across the songs, or across the actual parts of the songs that are looked at, they'd be sort of like interweaving their scores. So yeah, it was a challenge, but thank you.
Thank you. 17, Anne, Carol, and Nancy.
Okay, that would be me.
And we mostly agreed throughout, and we also mostly agreed that we don't ever want to be a judge. One thing that we have to say about number 2, because we all noticed it, we said as number 2 went through, they got more and more confident. So we just thought that was worth noting. As for 3 and 4, we had 3 between an B plus and an A minus. We had 4 at an A minus. We thought they both got better as they went along, but one thing we noticed in number 4 that made us keep that at the higher rate, one, it gave us goosebumps, and number 2, we all stopped paying attention to anything technical and just listened. It just was a great performance, so that's what put that one ahead for us. And of course, number 5 was just ring, 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 ring.
Thanks, Anne. Room 18, Gail, Laurel, Lauren, and Lise. How about you, Gail? Can you be the spokesperson? Sorry, you're muted.
Yeah, I tried to take it off. Somebody jumped up somebody's name. I wondered what was happening. Agree, just like everyone else. Hi, Di.
Hi.
First chance to say hi. No, we do not want to be judges. You couldn't pay, at least me, enough to do that. We were like everyone else, but I think we may have been a little bit more critical because we didn't have the A's there. We had number 3 between B plus or B minus moving B plus, and number 4 at B plus. So we didn't quite get to the A. I found that when you know a song in a different version, you listen to the song a lot differently. So that had a little bit to do with me listening to number 4. It kind of changes what you're listening for. But and number 5 was thank you. That was wonderful for the morning.
Thank you, Gail.
That was worth the whole morning.
Thanks, Gail. In our last room, number 19, Diane, Donna, and an L thrown in there for Linda.
Okay, hi. It's going to be me speaking. Nice to see you, Di. Hi.
Nice to see you. Oh, you're up at the cottage, right?
Yes, I am.
Nice.
And we also appreciate what you do and how you do it. So thanks so much for being a judge and as good as you are. We generally had agreed all the way through with most of our scores. A little bit of variance on some things. 3 and 4, I think some were a bit higher than others, but we agreed that that number 4 had the emotion in it, and we loved that. The last thing that we all agreed on was number 5, and how we all said yes, thumbs up on the A+ level there on Renegade. So thanks also for that. So.
Oh, good deal.
That's it.
Wow, that was awesome, you guys. Now I'm going to reveal what they were. The first chorus started out in C. They were kind of all over the map, but they were right in the cuspy line of that C+ place. They started out weak. There was one thing that you have to know is, like, if you score a B, let's say you score B+, that means you were doing some B things and some A- things. Just not enough A- and not too many B things, and we end up in the middle. That's why I wanted you to score 3 times, because of those consistencies or inconsistencies. So the first one was a C+. If you were anywhere in that area, you were right. The second chorus, and I played the song that was a combination of B- and low B. They had B-, low B scores overall, because they were very cuspy. 2 judges had them in low B, and 2 judges had them in high B-. They were right on that line. I picked that one on purpose. Not to confuse you, but kind of yes. Now we get to number 3. And I picked 3 and 4 to be back and back because I wanted to know if the largeness of the group tricked you. Because everybody always says, well, the big people always win. But the third chorus was a high B+, and the fourth chorus was a low A-. So I think it was room 17 that probably described that the very best. they were very close, but that fourth chorus was cleaner, emotionally more unified, and working. The third chorus was working a little bit harder at trying to be A minus. I mean, it was like there was a little more work in it, and they were bigger. They had a bigger sound, but number 4 did score higher. If you took it into a regional area, there would be almost a 15, 20 point swing with all the judges scoring them together. But on that song alone, number 4 was A minus, and number 3 was high B plus. They were very close, but the finite differences being the ease in which number 4 sang, the cleanliness, and the emotion was more unified from singer to singer. And then number 5, Runica they were solidly an A plus. And so all of these performances were very good. That first little chorus, one thing I wanted to say is, like in the visual communication category, they probably scored their highest there. I didn't have the tab sheets for the whole thing, but they were probably higher in that category by a few points. But because they were very entertaining, but if a chorus comes out and they're very entertaining and their vocal skill level is still C or C plus, I cannot go to B minus on a score without, I'm going to be evaluated as scoring them too high. All of us get scored on how we score. All of our scores get reviewed by
about 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. You can stay. It's okay.
All of us are also judged on how we judge. So I want to set your mind at ease. If anybody ever says that it's political and those are her friends up there kind of thing, I can't score you. I can only score the performances. Even if I wanted to score you higher, I can only score the performance, because we all get evaluated on being accurate about those things. So there isn't anybody that politically can score somebody higher. It has to be what it is. Just so you know. And so do you have any questions on that? No, we're all good? Because we're at the very end, and I just have a video I want to play for all of you to thank you for having me here today. And I know that you are still waiting to get together live. It's coming. But this message is from me to you. So I want to share this with you as we go out. And thank you so much for having me. Sue, thanks for all of your help. Hang in there, guys. It's going to get better soon. It will get better soon. So this is for you. My message to you.